What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, looking at some of Yusho's new Performapals coming out in Maximum Crisis. I have been wanting forever to know what the hell this card actually does. If you guys watch the anime, you'll instantly recognize this. This is Yusho's Ace Monster. They show him playing this card all the time. They show him flying through the sky. He's usually like riding on the wings and whatnot, but we never actually knew what this Performapal did, or actually if it was, well, no, we pretty much just assumed it was a Performapal. For those of you who don't watch the anime, Yusho is Yuya's father. He's like a world-renowned duelist. He's known as like the greatest entertainment duelist in the entire world. They named schools after this guy. It's that fucking serious. His dad is super famous. It would be like, I don't know, if your dad was like The Rock or some shit like that. Well, maybe, I don't know if anybody is as famous as Yuya's dad. I can't put it into perfect perspective. Just know that he's a really good duelist, and pretty much everyone knows him in different worlds. Hell, even in different dimensions. So this is Performapal Sky Magician. It's a level 7 spellcaster. It's a win spellcaster because it's Performapal. 2,000 defense, 2,500 attack. I swear we could have just guessed that. At this point, I feel like if somebody has an ace monster, you should just pretty much guess 2,500 attack, 2,000 defense, and you're going to be right more than wrong. This is the Utopia stats. This is like the Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon stats. It's, you know, the main character's boss monster or their ace monster stats. Second effect of this guy can only be used once per turn. First effect, if you activate a spell card, or excuse me, once per turn, if you activate a spell card, this card gains 300 attack. Since its second effect basically directly works with that, this card a lot of times should be 2,800 attack, which is actually pretty good for a level 7. Effect number 2, which is the whole reason to play this card. During either player's turn, you can target one continuous spell card you control, return it to your hand, then you can activate one Magician continuous spell card from your hand. Effect number 3, if this face-up card leaves the field, target one card on the field and destroy it. I love that. He pays for himself. I'd imagine you're never going to tribute summon for this card. Like, you're going to pendulum summon it all the time. The second effect is the whole reason that this card is super good, and I think it's just because it lets you easily just bust the fuck out of these two cards, the Magician's left hand and right hand. I've already talked about these cards in another video, or at least by the time you guys watch this one, you should have seen these cards. Just think about it like this, right? So if you have Sky Magician on the field and you have right hand, right? Your opponent activates Pot of Desires. You're just like, oh, negate. And then you bounce the right hand to your hand and just reactivate it. And then your opponent tries to activate, like, I don't know, a Soul Charge. You're just like, negate. So basically, this allows you to take right hand and left hand and just activate them multiple times in a turn, because they are once per turn, but they're per copy of the card. They're not, you can only activate this effect once per turn. It's just once per turn into the actual card. So that effect works stupid well with those two cards, and you guys know what I think of those. I think those cards are fucking incredible. So I actually think this guy is good because he has 3 different effects. They're all super practical. One of them pays for itself, where he gets to blow something up. The second effect lets him use his stun cards multiple times, and then the first effect gives him a nice little 300 attack gain. So he's actually, I mean, Yusho's off to a really good start with his cards, to be honest. Then we've got Performapal Sky Pupil. Okay, I guess technically this would be Dennis. This is Yusho, and then this is Dennis. I'm ruining the anime storyline for anybody who hasn't seen it. Level 3 light spellcaster, 800 attack, 800 defense. You can only use the first effect once per turn. During either player's turn, you can return one level 5 or higher Performapal monster you control to the hand. Special summon this card. Okay, all right. So you can special summon the pupil by giving up the Magician, and then I guess you could like pendulum summon the Magician back to the field or something like that. Although I guess you could probably just pendulum summon that card. Like, you could probably just pendulum summon Pupil in that situation, but whatever. Effect number 2, if this card battles an opponent's monster, that monster's effect is negated until the end of the damage step. All right, so you can attack into really big monsters, negate their effects. Effect number 3, if you control another Performapal monster and this card attacks an opponent's monster, before damage calculation, destroy that opponent's monster. So to me, effect number 2 and 3 basically just correlate with each other. They kind of stack. It allows you to kill much bigger monsters. Like, I always use Ignister as like the example. I don't know why, but it means that you could have this, plus you could have the Magician on the field, and you could just run into an Ignister, and Ignister would just die. So that before damage calculation, obviously. And even if Ignister had some crazy effect that would protect him from dying, its effect will be negated. So this card seems pretty good, especially when you use it in conjunction with another Performapal. So don't ever have this guy on the field by himself, because he's pretty much useless at that point. And then we have his assistant, his lovely assistant right here, who's totally bae. She is Performapal Revue Dancer, and she's level 3 light spellcaster. 800 attack, 800 defense. It seems to be a trend, 800 attack, 800 defense. And when it comes to Yusho's new cards, if you control, or excuse me, if your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. So basically like the Cyber Dragon, the Cyber Dragon summoning conditions. Those have been, the Cyber Dragon summoning condition has just been around for forever. And then it says this card can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a Performapal monster. So obviously they want you to be able to just special summon her on the field and then be able to special or tribute summon for Sky Magician. I mean, I like that because it means that, I mean, you're probably going to run Pendulum Scales in this because Pendulum Scales and Performapals just go hand in hand, but it means that you don't necessarily have to. Or more, I guess, more importantly, this card is not going to be dead if you don't have, like, if you don't have Scales. You still have ways of getting a level 7 out on the field. And then we have one more card to talk about, which is Magician's Encore. And it shows her about to put herself in some type of, is that a coffin? She's about to do something that's going to end up either really, really good or really, really bad. She's totally bae though, but this might be the last card art that we see her on if this doesn't go well. This says effect number 1. It's a continuous spell. You can pretty much assume that all of Yusho's spell cards are going to be like continuous because of the Magician being able to bounce them after they activate. During your main phase, you can target 1 level 3 or lower spellcaster type monster in your graveyard, special summon that monster. This effect can only be used once while this card is face up on the field. Okay, so that's pretty good because it basically just revives these cards, and it only being able to use once while it's face up doesn't matter because obviously Magician can just bounce that shit to your hand and then you can reactivate it later and then you can just use it again and again and again. Effect number 2, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Magician continuous spell card from your deck to your hand except itself. So basically you just want to get this and you want to get this, and these cards are already the tits. So I think Yusho was off to a really good start. Like, these cards look way better than, like, when we first learned about Performapals, everybody was like, oh my god, these things are trash, until we started getting good ones like Joker and Monkey Board, etc., etc. But these new Magician cards for Yusho already look super good, guys. So let me know what you guys think. I think his Ace Monster is actually pretty damn impressive, and thank you guys for watching. As always, smash that motherfucking thumbs up button. Subscribe if you have not already. I'll talk about the DDD video or the DDD cards in another video momentarily.